We have a more personal story, the domestic one, affecting everything and everything that you buy, where you go. The administration's track record right now has most of us convinced that they simply are not equipped to tackle the worst inflation and economic headwinds this country has seen in 40 years. Case in point, their prescription and prediction on inflation.
Our economists have conveyed that they feel that the impact of our proposals will be transitory.
Transitory.
Well, what do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years?
This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
Really? You feel better now? Well, we're at 9% inflation. Does anyone think that's where it stops? Their answer is to spend more and tax more. Thankfully, Joe Manchin on Thursday stopped them before they took our economy over the cliff. Yes, as Billy Joel sings, it's just a matter of trust, and they lost it. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.
p.m. and was 77 pages long. It coincides with a meeting that's going on right now, a private meeting here in Uvalde, where it's being presented to the victims' families by state officials. Here outside Robb Elementary, where there's a large memorial still, people continue to come here 54 days after the massacre. As for the contents of this long-awaited report, we've only been able to browse through it since it's just been released, but as you might expect, it lays out jaw-dropping systematic failures and extremely poor decisions by experienced law enforcement officers. But by far the most damning piece of information is one of the conclusions which stated in the report. It says, quote, "It is plausible that some of the victims could have survived if they had not had to wait 73 additional minutes for rescue," end quote. It also says that most of those who died were killed in the very first barrage of rifle fire. This report that was released today by a Texas House committee is the most detailed to date of the May 24th school shooting here in Uvalde at Robb Elementary School. It breaks down the failures into three categories, really. The family of the shooter being unable to recognize warning signs of his behavior and his desire to get guns and acquire a arsenal. A school district that didn't stick to its active shooter protection plan and did not keep doors locked and follow through on school plans. And also local police that didn't adhere to their active shooter training, which mandates immediate confrontation with the shooter by any and all officers at the scene. We learned today that a total of 376 officers were here at the scene that day. The report criticized the lack of urgency to take down the gunman. Most of those officers were state and federal, which suggests far more accountability than just Uvalde ISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo, who has been vilified for his lack of action. Border Patrol agents eventually breached the classroom and killed the gunman 77 minutes after it began. The other responders, it says in the report, quote, "could have helped to address the unfolding chaos," unquote. Now, we will have much more on this report and reaction from the victims' families coming up on CBS 11, both at 5:30 and 10 p.m. tonight. For now, J.D. Miles reporting live in Uvalde.
Here at home, inflation sticker shock is hitting millions of Americans hard. Families forced to cut back on just about everything, including summer vacations. Here's ABC's economics correspondent, Deirdre Bolton.
Tonight, with inflation near a 41-year high, families are cutting back.
Instead of 3 gallons of milk, we get 1.
One California resident is finding a creative solution.
I started a garden.
Food up more than 10%, gasoline 60%, and rent up more than 25% for the average one-bedroom apartment. Brianna Golden is a mom of 3 and says her costs are doubling.
I'm exhausted because I have to work myself to the bone just to get them their basic necessities.
the average American family is paying $493 more per month for the same goods and services compared to this time last year. For Miranda Benninger and her family, it's changing their vacation plans.
My husband and I are both teachers, so we try to keep things pretty frugal. We're going to be camping.
Americans are making more money, but pay raises are not keeping up with inflation. And for some Americans, that means turning to credit.
You see savings going down and credit card debt going up at a time that interest rates are also going up.
The Fed meets again in 10 days, and the next rate hike may be bigger than the last one, making all borrowing, including credit card debt, more expensive to pay off. Whit?
All right, Deirdre, thank you.
Well, to Sri Lanka now, where the country's parliament has gathered to begin the process of choosing a new president. That leader will replace Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who fled the country and resigned in the face of massive anti-government protests. Secunda Kamani reports.
Tight security outside Parliament this morning as politicians began the process of selecting a new president. This is the man it's most likely to be, Ranil Wickremesinghe, currently acting leader. He's an old political face and has been the focus of protester anger. The president's office is still under the control of demonstrators, though they've handed back other official buildings. A few meters away, the main protest camp, named the Gota Go Home Village, a reference to the ousted president Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who they forced to resign and flee the country. But those here have always also demanded Ranil Wickremesinghe, who looks likely to succeed him, should resign too.
We're halfway there with Gota going home. It is a win, but Ranil still being there, still being acting president, is a problem for us. We need him to step down as well.
He is going, the path that he's taking as we see it, is that he's going to be a failed leader, just like Gotabaya. And as people gathered here to send a failed leader home, they'll gather again.
But the longer this instability continues, the more difficult it's going to be to sort out the terrible problems with the economy here.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, without sending home the people that initiated that start of this crisis, we don't see a possibility of us getting into any sort of stability.
Meanwhile, much of the country has ground to a halt. Cars line up waiting for fuel as the government can't afford to import enough.
Wherever you go in this city, you see these huge queues of cars that stretch on and on and on. People waiting for days just to get fuel. And for whoever takes charge of this country, resolving this economic crisis is going to be a massive challenge.
Hilmi and Fahim have pushed their car for the last 5 kilometers of this queue.
How long have you been waiting for fuel?
5 days. After 5 days, I'll land.
And you were in this queue for those 5 days?
Yes.
Do you think your new leader is going to be able to sort out this problem? Is he going to be able to bring fuel?
Honestly, we don't know. Honestly, it seems like this problem we have to face another 2-3 years.
Can you live like this for another 2 or 3 years?
No, can't.
Sri Lankans are suffering, with food prices rocketing up too. Continuing political instability will make an IMF bailout deal all the more difficult. But protesters here say they want to see real change. Secunda Kamani, BBC News, Colombo.